Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Back in my day, we had chores and a curfew time. Now folks got opinions and not a lick of common sense. Bless them, they try. How's your mama and 'em? Hey, y'all. Come on, let's unwind. I'm Crystal, your Gen X gal. Telling the truth, your mama's too polite to say.
Welcome back to How's Your Mama and Him, the only podcast hosted by a Gen X countrywoman who survived dial-up internet, metal playground slides, and parents who believed in whoopings and chores. I'm your host, Crystal, the girl who grew up on fried bologna, Kool-Aid, and minding her damn business.
Well, hey, y'all. Did you hear about the teenager who started bawling because the Wi-Fi blinked out for 5 minutes? I walked by with a water hose in my hand and a face like, that child would not last 5 minutes in my yard. Today, I'm going to make you laugh, take you back to the days when boredom was an art form, and give you 3 plain-spoken takeaways for keeping your cool when the world's doing entirely too much. So here's the promise. 1 wild childhood story that actually happened, a handful of laughs about what we did for fun before screens, and 3 rules. Simple, stubborn rules to help keep your head on straight when folks are losing it over the smallest nonsense. If you were raised on a hose, a whoopin', and a whole lot of figure it out, this one's for you. Back in my day, we had a 5-step entertainment program, and we called it Outside. Number 1, make a stick horse. Number 2, convince the neighborhood mutt he was a stallion. Number 3, race down the gravel road with nothing but courage and a paper cup for water. Nobody had to schedule that. You didn't need an app to find adventure. You just had to be willing to get your knees dirty and your mother angry. We played outlawed games like see who can stand closest to the bee tree without running and hide the neighbor's rubber chicken. Not because we were mean, but because boredom gives you ideas. And Gen X has always been inventive with consequences. We learned patience because Aunt Mabel's pie took an hour to cool, not because a notification told us to wait. We learned problem solving because the only person who could fix the lawnmower was Dad, and he wasn't on call. We learned boundaries because Mom said don't in a tone that made you consider moving to Canada. Boredom? It taught creativity. Tough luck? It taught grit. You'd be surprised how many X skills live under the porch with the ladybugs and the old moonshine jed. Now let me tell you about the caper that proves a small-town imagination plus a water hose equals a masterclass in unintended consequences. I was 9, and it was one of those brutal July days where the tar on the road got sticky and even the flies were complaining. We decided to give the neighbor's lawn a rainstorm, polite vandalism, I reckon, with a garden hose and a paper cup as the official downpour instrument. First the hose, we got ambitious, hooked it over the fence and rigged up a sprinkler out of my cousin's old colander. It worked. The grass looked like it had been blessed by a miracle, shiny and smug.
Then came phase 2 of our plan. The neighbor's dog, Duke, decided he liked the sprinkler. Duke is a big old hound with the attention span of a biscuit, and he charged the yard like it owed him money. The hose went taut, the fence wobbled, and somewhere in the chaos, my cousin's elbow caught the post just right, and the entire fence leaned like it had had too much sweet tea. We panicked. Of course we panicked. And in the scramble, the colander flew, the paper cup sank, and Duke looked at us like we'd ruined his Friday. The sheriff showed up because someone called about a yellin' fit, and somebody else called because the dog was singing. Long story short, we learned what make it right meant the hard way. We repaired the fence, swept their porch, and paid back the neighbor's water bill with our allowance and a lot of apologies.
That mess taught me 3 things that still help me when life decides to be dramatic. 1, if you break something, fix it, or make amends. Pride is useless when the fence is leaning. 2, laugh about it after you've done the right thing. Humor is the polish that keeps a family from falling apart. 3, stubbornness isn't the same as being mean. Sometimes it's the part of you that refuses to be defeated. Those lessons saved me at my first job, my first marriage, and every backyard barbecue since. Don't get me wrong, we got scolded, but we also learned consequence-built resilience, and it stuck. Now, let's talk about kids these days. Gently now. I'm not trying to start a war. But I will say this. When a child freezes because the Wi-Fi blinks, I feel nostalgic for the kid who panicked when his kite flew into the power line. Both moments are teachable. We didn't coddle, we coached. You don't have to prove toughness by yelling. You can teach resilience by giving small chores, letting natural consequences happen, and modeling calm when a problem shows up. Also, and hear me, set boundaries. If your teenager wants the Wi-Fi back, they can take out the trash on time for a week. You can't fix every panic, but you can give tools.
All right, recap time. Quick and mighty. 1. Fix what you broke or make amends. Pride don't pay for a new fence. 2. Keep your sense of humor after you do the right thing. Don't let shame eat the lesson. 3. Teach resilience with chores, small consequences, and a dash of patience. If you take anything from today, let it be that stubbornness can be an heirloom, passed down for keeping folks standing after the mess. And if you liked that, go on and hit subscribe so you don't miss next week's trouble report from my childhood archive. Seriously, subscribe. You'll thank me later.
You can't fix stupid, but you can mute it. I'm Crystal, and this has been How's Ya Mama and Em. Love y'all. Mean it. Bye now. All right, I'm clocking out emotionally.